Hi. Welcome to the Garden of Eden. My name is Eve. I will be your tour guide today. Our tour starts right here in the very center of the garden. The Lord says this tree behind me is the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And he says that it's the only tree in the entire garden that my husband and I are not supposed to eat from. I have no idea why. It's just something the Lord said to do. So, we don't eat from it. The Lord doesn't even want us spending much time around this tree. Something about temptation. It's a shame, don't you think? It's such a pretty tree. Now, if you all come right this way, I'll show you the other fruit trees in the garden. You can even sample all of the delicious fruit from them. Right this way. Wasn't that delicious fruit, ladies and gentlemen? Now, if you'll follow me to the other side of the garden, I'll show you the wild animals that my husband gave names to. I may have told you that the Lord warned us to avoid going near this tree, but this is the shortest route to where we're going, so I'm sure it'll be alright. I may have mentioned that the Lord called this tree the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Well, we shouldn't be spending so much time here, so if you'll follow me, I'll show you the wild animals. Right this way. Okay, those were the wild animals. Now, if you'll just follow me, I'll show you the domesticated animals. I suppose we should really avoid going this way again. But, well, as I said, this is the shortest route to get where we're going. I think you'll agree it's a very attractive tree and the fruit looks delicious. It sure would be nice to know what good and evil are all about. Wouldn't it? I've asked my husband what good and evil are. But he doesn't know either. I've often wondered what good and evil are. I thought maybe good and evil are names for other people that we haven't met yet. My husband thinks maybe good and evil were the names of two different kinds of fruit that grow in different seasons. But so far we've only seen one kind of fruit on this tree. Well, I suppose I'll never know. Anyway, right this way to the domesticated animals. Okay, those were the domesticated animals. My husband named each animal himself. Now, right this way and I'll show you our vegetable garden. Let's not spend a lot of time here, ladies and gentlemen, the Lord warned us. Well, what have we here? One of the fruits of the tree of good and evil apparently fell off a limb. I really shouldn't be handling the fruit like this. But I wanted you all to see how shiny and attractive this fruit is. I can't imagine why such delicious-looking fruit is off limits. Isn't it beautiful? Well, right this way to the vegetable garden. Okay, that was the vegetable garden. The Lord has really provided some delicious fruits and vegetables here in the garden. Hasn't he? But none of them are as delicious looking as this fruit from this tree of good and evil. Isn't it gorgeous? I think I'll have my husband give it a name. It's too beautiful not to have a name. Don't you think? I wonder what it tastes like, don't you? I sure would like to know what good and evil are, wouldn't you? Oh, well, our next stop on the tour is a reptile exhibit. There's a talking snake in the reptile exhibit that I'd like you to meet. He seems very wise for such a small snake. He uses a lot of the same words that the Lord uses. Perhaps he can tell us more about this fruit and the knowledge of good and evil. Listen, strictly speaking, I shouldn't be talking about this fruit, but I have to talk to the snake, and what harm could it do anyway, right? Okay, right this way to the reptile exhibit. Okay, that was the reptile exhibit. Wasn't that snake a convincing speaker? What he said made a lot of sense, don't you think? I mean, mean, like he said, human beings were made in the image of God, right? And God knows everything, right? Everything includes good and evil, right? So, if we were created by God in the image of God, what could be the harm in knowing good and evil like God does, right? I mean, it's only logical. Right? So, logically, I have every reason to eat of the fruit, and no logical reason not to. Right? I mean, the Lord told us not to spend much time near this tree. But nothing happened when I spent a lot of time here. And nothing happened when I held its fruit in my hand. Isn't this fruit gorgeous? I mean, look at it. I mean, what harm could come from taking just one little bite from such a delicious-looking fruit? Right? Yummy. I knew it. It's just as delicious as it looks. The snake was right. Well, isn't that interesting? I now know what good and evil are. Good is what God is. And evil is... Evil is anything that opposes God. Like that talking snake. And me. I disobey God. That was evil. Well, on with the tour. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, our last stop on the tour was the living quarters for my husband and me. I really did want you to meet my husband. But, well, if you'll excuse me, I have to cancel the rest of the tour. Thank you all for coming. If you all exit the way you came in, I've got to find my husband and have him try some of this fruit. I can't be the only one to take the blame. Based on a play by Bob Snook. Conditions for use: do not sell any part of this script, even if you rewrite it. Pay no royalties, even if you make money from performances. You may reproduce and distribute this script freely, but all copies must contain this copyright statement.